want your personal brand to actually look aesthetic and look like a brand instead of another guy posting online, keep watching because I'm going to show you the secret visual aesthetic system behind the top personal brand and how you can replicate the same kind of result. Think about Iman Gadzhi, Alex Hormozi, and Daniel Dalen. You can see one of their video for half a second and already have a good idea of who they are without needing for a face reveal. Their editing, their colors, their typography, the way they dress, and even the environment that they shoot in. And that's not because they just randomly have a good taste. They have understand how to build a visual system for their brand. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact visual system that those top personal brands use and the exact system that I've developed over the years, taking my clients' content looking like this into this and this into this. So here's how we are going to go. First, I'm going to show you my constraint concept, the framework that I use to log in the visual rule that makes the brand instantly recognizable instead of random. Then I will break down the three biggest part of your visual identity, which is your editing, your appearance, and your overall fashion style. Because your visual identity is not just your fonts or your colors. It's the way you present yourself, and it's the visual language that shows up across everything you create. And finally, I'm going to show you how to make all those choices that actually resonate with your audience and with your personality so that you can stand out without looking like you're trying to become someone you're not. And by the end of this video, you will have a complete visual aesthetic system for your personal brand. So without further ado, let's dive in. Alright, so let's start with the most fundamental one, what I call the constraints concept. Most people think that editing is just about making things look good, but that's not how you build a recognizable personal brand. So your editing style consists of these four elements, which is your fonts, colors, asset type, and background. So let's start with the first one, your fonts. You need at least 2 fonts and you have to stick to them religiously. One font that you're going to use for the headlines or emphasis, and one font for body tags or subtitles. Because when you take a look at some of the biggest personal brands on the internet, you can see that they are sticking to 2 main specific fonts religiously. For example, Daniel Dalen, if you watch his content, you're going to notice that he is using these same fonts consistently. And Finn, I don't know if you know him or not, but he has built one of the solid visual brand on the internet. And sometimes his videos start with some fancy color, but the second after I see the text, I already know that that is his content. I don't need to wait a couple more seconds for a face reveal. Why? Because they have been using this consistently and it builds recognition. So don't use 10 different fonts across your content just because you think they look cool or your editor just put it. So find out your main 2 fonts, one font for the power words and one font to use in the body. And the second element is your color. So you need 3 colors in your brand palette. One primary color, which you're going to use in your color grading, your background, your keyword text. One secondary color for accents and highlight, and one neutral color is usually black, white, or gray. And again, stick to these religiously. Don't just randomly throw in new colors because you think they look cool. Make sure you stick to your brand palette consistently, because otherwise you're gonna break the consistency, and without consistency, there will be no recognition. If you take a look to some of the biggest personal brands, you can see that they are sticking to their color palettes consistently. If you're more into red, orange vibe, more influence, you can take a look at Daniel Dalen as an example. But if you like blue, much cooler, calm, you can take Tyson as an example. But if you're someone who likes natural, more green vibe, friendly, you can take Ken as an example. And these are some of the biggest personal brands on the internet, and they are being intentional with everything. So make sure you pick your 3 primary brand palette and stick to them all across your fonts, your lighting, your color grading, and your background selection. And that's how you build a recognition with your brand and stand out from the crowd. And number 3 is your asset types. This is the styles of your graphics, animation, visual elements that you use. So are you using the 3D assets, motion graphics, or UI design elements? Pick one asset type and stick to it consistently. If you're using motion graphics one day and you start using 2D designs in the next week, your content is gonna feel disjointed. And that's the mistake that I see with a lot of founders, because they're switching editors constantly and there is no proper guideline and SOP for the editors. So they hire new editors and the editors start editing what they think it looks cool. There is no proper asset type structure. But if you want to build a really good aesthetic personal brand, you have to give attention to these small details, because consistency in asset types make your content feels cohesive and professional. If I have to give you an example, look at Devin.
First that you ever recorded.
This is the editing style that we all used to watch. He has been sticking to this motion graphic designs for a couple years now, and still today he's using the exact editing style. And that's the exact reason why this editing style become known as Devin Jetto editing style. And if we take a look at Daniel Dalen as an example.
That you work on, everything that you do starts small. Like I started small once with everything that I do. And the beauty about this game we're all playing is that You're gonna learn so much in the
right? His editing style is minimalistic, simple, clean, and still he's pulling hundreds of millions of views every single month. So the editing style is not what decides the clips to go viral. The key here is to find out the editing asset type that you want to stand for your personal brand and stick to that consistently. And make sure that you prepare a proper guidelines or SOP for the editor. So whenever you hire new ones, the editor has full clarity with your brand vision, the exact styles that you want. So the fourth element is your background. So this is the backdrop or base layer of your content. So are you using solid color backgrounds, blur footage, or real life setting? And pick a background style and stick to it. It doesn't mean that you can change your filming location. You can change it, but you want to have the main filming setup where you record most of your content. So for example, if you're someone who prefers filming in indoor but doesn't have much space, you can take a look at Devin Jetto as an example. You can just use green screen as a background, and you can use Photoshop with AI, and you can still get really realistic background look. But if you have a really good nature background or city view, you can take inspiration from other creators. So why is constraint matter? Because constraint creates consistency, and consistency creates recognition, and recognition creates a brand. But if you're changing your fonts, your colors, your asset types, backgrounds, you're not building a brand. You're gonna blend in and just become another random person who's just posting content. The second layer of your visual design is your appearance. Here's the truth: if you look good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you make content faster. A lot of people don't take this seriously, and that's the reason why when they create content, it seems like they just roll out of bed and they're just making content for the sake of making content because their mentor said to create content, or this guru tell them to build a personal brand. There's no preparation behind it, but that's not how we want to represent with our brand. You genuinely want to feel alive when you create content. So a perfect example would be Greg. I don't know if you have seen this guy or not. He just popped up recently and he's blowing up like crazy because when you watch his content, you can feel his energy. There's full conviction in what he's saying, and you can clearly see that he's a confident jack guy, and that's the reason why his message lands more effectively. But I don't mean you to start copying their personality and try to become someone you're not. I mean, show your true personality. If you're a chill guy, you can take Tyson as an example. So here's what you need to dial in. First, take care of yourself. This is your foundation. So get a good haircut, dress well, take care of your hygiene, work out, stay in shape, put sleep as your priority because mental clarity is everything. These all matter because we are not building a vanity. We are building an actual brand. If you look good, you show up with more confidence, and that confidence translates into better content. Second, your environment. So if you really want to win, you need to be in a good location where you create content. So take a look at this picture. Would you rather watch someone recording in a messy bedroom with bad lighting, or someone who's recording in a clean, well-designed space? Of course, the second guy. Everybody judges a book by its cover. That's a harsh truth. Everyone is making assumption of you every second based on what they are seeing right now. So we have to make sure that it comes off a good first impression. So what you need to do: invest in your setup, good lightings and a clean background. If you have a tight space, use green screen, or you can just post some sort of banner in the background and get a good floor lamp, something like this that I've put in the background, because it creates contrast and add more depth to your face. Your third layer of visual design is your fashion style. We have to make it distinct and memorable. And this is exactly where a lot of people messed up, because there's a lot of content gurus that are saying right now, you have to wear a black shirt or a white t-shirt so that your captions is visible or your text pop. F that. Okay, just be yourself. If you take a look to some of the biggest personal brands on the internet, they're not following what your content guru is saying. They're just being their self, and they're standing out with their own way, because we want people to recognize our brand and eventually copy our style. And that's where we know that we are winning. A lot of people are scared that people are gonna copy their style, but just imagine that's the biggest compliment that you can have. Think about sports. When you play football, you wear some sort of certain items, jersey with a specific numbers because your favorite player wear them, and you start copying their styles and you look up to them. And the exact same thing happened with content creators as well. When you look at Iman Ghazi, his style is so distinct and so clean that when people see him, they already recognize his style. And there's a lot of info guy that start copying, and the same thing happened for Daniel Dalen. His street fashion is so standout that right now this kind of fashion become popular around his circle because of him. And they're not following the gurus who say you need to wear black shirt or white shirts. They're just being themselves and doing their own thing. And that's the approach that we want with our personal brand. So how do you develop your fashion style? First, experiment. Try different styles, see what feels authentic to you and what resonates with your audience. Don't force a style that doesn't feel like you, but also don't be too afraid to elevate your look. Second, make it consistent. So once you find a style that works for you and your audience, stick to it, because consistency is key. And third, make sure that it resonates with your audience. Your style need to match your target audience. So for example, if I'm targeting young entrepreneurs who are into streetwears and hustle culture, I'm going to start dressing in streetwear because that's my audience, and if I do that, they're gonna vibe with me more. But if you're someone who's targeting executive lawyers, you don't want to dress up streetwears. You're probably going to dress up more professionally. So keep that in mind, that your style should resonate with the people that you're trying to reach. But here is the important thing: don't sacrifice your authenticity. You can adapt your style with your audience, but don't become someone that you're not. And pro tip, get creative with your style, stand out, be bold, but also be intentional. Everything you wear, every color you choose, every aesthetic you present, it should all tie back to your brand. Look at these 4 guys. Even though I cover their face, most of you can exactly tell who they are. They are being intentional with everything they do. Do you think that Macho wear this blue shirt for no reason? No, he's trying to build a recognition for his brand. He's been consistent with it in all platforms. Whether it's on Instagram, YouTube, thumbnail packaging, everything has intention, and that's the reason why they have built a solid personal brand on the internet. So step 4, how to put all these things together. Step 1, define your constraint. Write down your 2 fonts, the 3 color palettes, your asset type, your background design. Lock these in and commit to them for at least 6 months. Watch how people start recognizing your content. Step 2, dial in your appearance. Get a good haircut, upgrade your setup, clean up your environment, invest in good lighting. Make sure that you look good, feel good every time you create content. Step 3, define your fashion style. Experiment with different looks, find what feels authentic to you, and commit to a consistent style throughout your content. Step 4, apply it consistently. Every piece of content you create should follow this system. Your YouTube videos, Instagram reels, stories, thumbnails, packaging, everything should have the same fonts, the same asset types, the same brand colors, style, so that when people see your content, they should instantly recognize it as yours. The entire goal is to make your visual design so distinct that people can help but recognize you instantly, and eventually they start copying your style. And when that happens, you have won. You have built a brand. Alright, so thank you so much for watching the video till the end. I hope you find this video valuable, and if you want to work with me, I'll just put all the details down below. You can check it out, and if you like it, you can schedule a free discovery call with me. On there, I'll happy to hop on and give you more insights and clarity with your personal brand and map out the entire content system for you. But anyway, I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.